Hello everyone, this is Jason from Primetime Aquatics, and today I wanted to talk about whether or not the kit tanks that you see in the big box stores are really worth the money, so stay tuned. Alright everybody, so if you go to the big box stores like the Petcos, the PetSmarts of the world, and you walk down the aisles, you'll see an entire aisle usually filled with fish tank kits, and they will range anywhere from 2 gallons up to 55 gallons and pretty much anything in between. You can get bow fronts and hexagons and specialized tanks and just your standard rectangular tanks as well. So are they worth the money? What advantages do they provide over just piecing the fish tanks together on your own? Well, I think the first thing is we have to take a step back, and for someone who is a beginner, that task of piecing together everything you need can be a bit overwhelming. And so the kit tanks offer a lot of convenience. Usually in that kit you're going to have the tank, you're going to have the lid, the light, the heater, the filter, thermometer, maybe a net, a starter pack of fish food. From there you're going to need to buy your aquascaping stuff, the fish obviously. If the tank is larger, you're probably going to need a stand, maybe some kind of a background. But for the most part, those kits give you everything you need to get going. And for a beginner, that can take a lot of the guesswork out of the equation. If we think about the cost to buy that fish tank kit is probably going to be less initially than it would be to piece everything together. But let's also take a look at some of the things we need to consider when buying a kit tank. There's going to be some downsides. One, the components, the accessories that you get with a kit tank may not be as high a quality as you could get if you were to piece things together. So for instance, the filters. Now, I will say we have bought a few kit tanks in our history, and we've never had problems with the parts that came with the tank. But the filters may not be as high a quality. They may be a little bit noisier, but they're going to work. They're going to move water, generally speaking, and then once the tank is cycled, they're going to probably do a pretty good job of keeping it that way. The heaters, again, maybe the heaters aren't the highest quality, but for the most part, the heaters that I found in the kits work about as long as heaters you would buy separately. The lights, now the lights, there's where things get a little bit tricky. If you're just looking at your standard kit, the lights may not be powerful enough to grow some plants, but low light plants, they're probably going to be okay. But if for a beginner, the lights are probably going to be more than sufficient to illuminate the tank, make the fish look great. A couple other things you're going to want to consider as well. The glass on the tanks when you buy them in a kit might be a little bit thinner than if you had a medium or higher quality tank. And the lids. One suggestion I would make, if you're going to buy a kit tank, make sure that tank does not have a one-piece plastic lid. It would be a much better option if you could have a two-piece glass lid. Trust me, when it comes time for cleaning the tank or adding in aquascaping materials or having the lights last a little bit longer, that glass lid goes a lot further than a plastic lid. One thing you're going to want to keep in mind, whatever that kit costs you, add at least that much for all the other stuff you're going to need. So for the gravel, for the decorations, plants, whether they're fake or real, the little caves and things, the fish themselves, if you have to have a stand, that's going to cost some money too. So just keep that in mind. Now overall, I don't think a kit is a bad option for a beginner. It's a nice, easy way to get into the hobby. If you're more experienced, then yes, maybe it might be a better option to go to the $1 per gallon sale and then start doing some research on the filtration that you want, the heaters, the lights, the lid. That might be the way to go. Even if you're just starting out, if you've got the time and want to research those things, that may also be a good option. But the kits certainly are a viable option. I haven't had any issues personally with them. I would love to hear from you. If you've bought the kits before, did you have any issues? Are they still up and running? So if you like this video, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.